New beginnings. Christ returns. Now that the truth concerning my crucifixion has been revealed clearly in my letters, I can begin to lead the awakening people on the planet Earth into higher levels of spiritual vision. There will be a great deal of anger, pain, and confusion in orthodox Christians' minds, but as they discover what I really want to reveal to you, they will gradually emerge from their suffering and will join in what is going to be a very powerful, widespread effort to rise from the slough of despond, of yester hundreds of years, to enter a new level of life, the quality of which will be enlivening, enriching of thought, and eventually a manifestation of your hoped-for events and visions. Before you can manifest your heartfelt visions, you must first spend time in visualizing, creating blueprints of your desires, filling them with the creative power from the source, and then giving thanks that all is being created exactly as desired. Please understand that I have actually described for you the exact principle of creativity which I have previously given to my recorder for people who have questioned her. To lead you into higher levels of spiritual life and new dimensions is the reason why I came back to the world in 2000 A.D. and announced my return to Earth when I dictated my letters through the mind of my recorder. I also engaged in many other diverse activities amongst spiritually receptive people, to let it be known that I was now active in the world, but none of these dear spiritually astute persons were able to convince the world that I had indeed returned. And another tremendous drawback was the popular belief in my having rescued people from a tormented afterlife. People have discussed my return and asked each other, had I really returned? How had I returned? Why didn't I come in clouds of glory as the New Testament declares? Why could I not be born as a baby again? But if open-minded people will consider these options for a moment, they will surely see that if I came in clouds of glory with angels, I would be of little help to the inhabitants on earth. We would be in vastly different vibratory frequencies, and how would I teach from the sky? And if I were to be born as a baby again, there would be all the unproductive years of my growing up, and how would teachers cope with me? I would be more argumentative than my last time on earth. But you must try to understand that everything in life is the activity and working and substance of consciousness, and it would have been quite impossible for any woman on earth, no matter how spiritually alive she was, to be able to bear my frequencies of vibration in her human flesh. Her womb would sizzle with the energy, and she could only have sought the most successful means of gaining speedy relief of her agony. Now, I know that many people will be outraged by this statement and strongly reject my words as being fraudulent, because it would be entirely impossible for Christ to descend to such vile thoughts and language. My beloved souls, this is where you are sadly wrong. In your minds you make a thing to be wrong by judging it by your preconceived rules and prejudices. I have no rules at all for my self-expression, other than my divine intention to say what is needed to be said to bring home certain truths to unwilling minds. My dearly beloved friends and followers, please try to understand. I may be divine, but I am not holy. I would like to be perfectly understood and accepted as teacher and guardian, as far as you will permit me to be. But I beg you, please keep an open mind as I speak to you. Do not yourselves decide what is likely to come nor not come from my consciousness. My consciousness has been greatly lowered to enable me to understand your needs and ignorance of the hitherto hidden realities of your existence, to enable me to minister through them and fill your minds with understanding and knowledge. Do not, I beg you, form opinions about my reported activities on earth because for me there are no barriers of any kind. As Christ, I have always had this overwhelming love for all humanity and for all living things, and my only intention, is to lift you out of your present morass of despair, so that you may presently enter the radiant anticipation of future felicity of the most glorious and loving kind. To attain this new level of spiritual integrity, I want you to learn how to stop looking back, fearing some woe or evil, as you have done in the past. This must stop. This was the reason for your recurring problems. I want you now to move away from repetitious misery into a joyous, consistent expectation that because I am now your celestial shepherd of the world, assisted by other celestial beings of Christ's consciousness, you can expect only a beautiful and harmonious well-being in your lives. You will not move into this state of mind easily, but I will show you how to do it successfully if you persist in studying my letters and following their guidelines to ascend into Christ's consciousness yourself. I know that this strong statement will arouse all those egos who are reading my words to rise up in self-defense. Yes, I understand your anger and frustration, my beloved friends. I sympathize and feel compassion for your real disquiet. But, my dear, lovely souls, you must think about it and try to realize that if you want to create an entirely new consciousness of joy and unconditional love, generosity of spirit, acceptance of everything as being supremely right in divine jurisdiction, there are plenty of patterns of thought and feeling which you will have to discard to enable this new harmony to take their place. Please believe me, I have not come, as you have been taught, to show you how to behave well to please God. I have come to help you divest yourself of all the accumulation of mental and emotional patterns of consciousness which have formed potent barriers between you and your source of being, whom I call Father, Mother, Life, and in whom you are enfolded completely, down to your very last atom. This is because your source is universal consciousness and is the very basic substance of your every atom. Universal consciousness is indeed the energy of which your scientists speak, but they do not realize it is indeed life itself. Therefore, my dearly beloved souls who crave knowledge, let me now assure you that you have drawn your own life from the source, and when you pass on, and people will say of you that your life has gone, they will mean that your spirit, drawn from the source, has moved on to the happy, happy realms of spirit. There may be readers of this message who are beginning to feel they are being brought too rapidly into a study of spirit as the true reality of existence, and that as this happens, there is a feeling of insecurity, of nebulous and fragile substance in place of the stable comforts of matter. Yes, for a while, you will feel you are hovering between two dimensions of being, but as you persevere, you will begin to discover the very real and amazing benefits of residing in spirit rather than in matter. You will find yourselves growing closer and closer to your source until you do become aware of its presence and its enfolding love for you. Therefore, my beloved souls, if I ask you to study my letters and practice their teaching, please, I beg you, realize that I only ask this because they reveal to you the path I trod when I was on earth. I have clearly defined the way in which I cleanse my consciousness after enlightenment in the desert, and this is the way you should cleanse your consciousness to arrive up close to your source. There is nothing more wonderful, more beautiful, more comforting, soothing, healing than being up close to your source. How can this be, you will marvel? It will be because you have unloaded all the thoughts and reactions which kept you imprisoned in your own makeshift habitation created by your consciousness. This was your natural dwelling place, and the walls kept everything out, and they kept you secure in your privacy and bleakness of spirit. Do you want to keep this dwelling place? Is it making you happy? No, my beloved souls, it is making you restless and longing for what you do not know. You do not want to keep this earthly habitation created by ego. You really do not. I can tell you truly that the only thing which will separate you and me will be your fears and thoughts and feelings of disbelief. The more that you draw close to the source, to me, and existence, the more will you feel the changes taking place in you and your life, and will rejoice in them. I, the Christ, speak the truth for you, beloved souls.